If you're looking for one lens that can replace almost your entire camera bag, this might be it. Today we're checking out the Tamron 28-200mm. We'll unbox it, go over my first impressions, and then take it out into the real world to see if it actually performs the way people say it does. Because it's easy to be impressed by specs on paper, but the real test is how it handles when you're actually out shooting. I'll be testing the lens both on photos and videos. After you finish watching this, you'll know the pros and cons about this lens and whether this lens is worth adding to your kit. First of all, let's talk about how much the lens is. I got this for 849 Canadian dollars. It is such a great deal. I don't know what else to say, but that's a bargain. I'll have the link for this lens in the description box down below if you want to check it out on Amazon, but yeah, it's there if you want to get one. Okay, first we just have some paperwork here, and oh, I ripped that one out. See, I'm too excited to unbox this lens. I'm very, very excited to actually use this. I feel like this is gonna be on my camera the majority of the time, you know, just because of its focal length. And then we have some more instructions here at the bottom, more paperwork and such. We'll just leave that for now. We'll place it aside, and then let's look at the lens itself. Ooh, that is one light lens for a 28-200. For this focal range, it is extremely light. So here you got the hood lens itself, and then you got the cover, and then like I said, the manuals, and that's pretty much it. I mean, nothing fancy, but that's expected. The first thing I noticed picking this up is just how compact it is. When you hear a lens that goes from 28 all the way to 200mm, you expect something much larger and heavier. Instead, it's surprisingly lightweight and feels really well balanced. This lens weighs a whopping 575 grams. That is extremely light. And if you're someone who likes to travel, hike, or spend an entire day with a camera around your neck like myself, this lightweight lens is already a huge pro. Looking at a closer look, the build quality is exactly what I've come to expect from Tamron. It has a clean, understated design that feels solid without being overly bulky. The zoom ring is smooth and just the right amount of resistance, and the focus ring feels responsive as well. It doesn't try to look flashy, and it's very simple and it's very bare to the bones. I mean, you only have this locking mechanism here for the zoom range, so that it just prevents it from rolling over, but aside from that, that's the only button you have. It's practical, it's comfortable to hold, and pairs really nicely with any Sony mirrorless cameras. Now let's talk about what makes this lens so interesting. The focal range. Going from 28mm to 200mm gives you an incredible amount of flexibility. At the wide end, you can shoot landscapes, travel, scenes, architecture, or environmental portraits. Zoom all the way in and you've got enough reach for portraits, wildlife, sports, or picking out details that would normally require a completely different lens. That kind of versatility is exactly why so many people are interested in this lens. Instead of carrying 2 or 3 lenses, you can cover almost everything with just this lens. One thing that's also impressive is the aperture. It starts at f2.8 on the wide end, which is excellent for a lens with this much zoom range. As you zoom in, the maximum aperture gets smaller, which is completely normal for a lens like this. Of course, if you're constantly shooting in very low light or need the absolute shallowest depth of field, dedicated prime lenses will still have the advantage. But that's not really what this lens is trying to compete with. It's designed to give you maximum flexibility without making you carry a backpack full of gear. All right, enough talking. This is the part that actually matters. Let's head outside and see how it performs in the real world. The first 20 minutes of using this thing, first of all, it's very, very light. And yes, it has that very plasticky Tamron body, but honestly, I 90% of my lenses are from Tamron, so I'm used to this, and that's what makes it lightweight, so I don't care so much about it being sturdy or rugged. But I like the focal range of 28 to 200. I wish it was more so on the 24 end or the 20mm, but then again, I'm just nitpicking. But otherwise, the autofocus is great. The quality so far looks amazing. It feels like it's a native Sony lens. It's very fast autofocus, and I love how I can like zoom in all the way to 200mm, and at the end of the day, sure, a shallower depth of field is nice, but honestly, I don't really need it. I love how I have that focal range that literally covers the majority of the focal ranges for if you're out doing landscape or portrait photography or videography. Okay, let's see how good the autofocus on this lens is. I'm gonna step back. It should still be following me, tracking me somehow. Looking towards it. Face away. I feel like it's tracking me. Okay, we're gonna zoom in just a little bit closer now. I'm gonna zoom into 50mm. This is on the 50mm focal length. I faced away a bit there. Okay. Also, I'm gonna try vlogging with this. This is what it looks like when I'm holding at an arm's length, just to kind of give you an idea of how long my arm is. Probably doesn't give you any ideas, but it's actually not as tight as I thought it would be. And this is with a 28mm. And I'm not even using the tripod just yet. As you can see, I'm just using my hands. It's actually not bad. If you fully extend out your arm like this, I think you should be fine, but that kind of fits my face in the screen. I might actually start vlogging with this. Probably not so much so as frequent as my other lens, which is the 20mm. That one is just a bit more wider, but this one gives me the flexibility to zoom in whenever I want, which is yeah, such an amazing lens to have. And it's also fairly lightweight. But damn, I'm shocked. I didn't think my face could fit with this lens, but that's what the 28mm looks like. Wow. Jasmina was saying, because I was holding the lens, tried vlogging with it, and she's like, you can hold it from here.
Yeah, literally. And then you can take advantage of like zooming in on things too. You can just sweep.
Yeah, I didn't know the 28mm. I mean, it's not an ideal vlogging lens because you want it to be super wide, but I might actually just use this from time to time vlogging, because I mean, look, this is what it looks like. Look at that. And even if I was to hold it like this, it's also not too bad. I do have a big face, so I kind of have to like bring it back a little bit, but this is actually not bad. And I think if I put on the tripod, actually, let's see what it looks like with the tripod.
Yeah.
Now this is with the tripod. Oh my god, yeah. This definitely works as a vlogging camera. It's just you gotta remember to really stretch out your arm, but it's enough that your face fits in there, which I like. This is amazing. Okay, after spending some time with this lens, I have to say that this really impressed me. The biggest strength is definitely the convenience. Being able to go from a wide landscape shot to a tight telephoto, it makes shooting feel effortless. You spend less time swapping on gear and more time actually taking photos or videos with this lens. And that's something that's easy to appreciate once you're out in the field. The autofocus felt quick and reliable even when moving between different subjects, and the images coming straight out of the camera look sharp with nice contrast and pleasing colors. I was also impressed by how consistent the image quality felt throughout most of the zoom range. No, it's not gonna outperform a collection of premium prime lenses or professional zooms that cost significantly more, but I don't think that's a fair comparison. This lens isn't about being the absolute best at one thing, it's about being really good at almost everything, and that's exactly where it shines. For travel photography, everyday shooting, family events, road trips, hiking, or even creating content for YouTube, it's incredibly practical. Of course, there are a few cons in my opinion. Starting at the 28mm instead of 24mm means you lose a bit of width. This would have been perfect if the focal range started at 24 or even 20mm. Now, as you zoom towards 200mm, the smaller maximum aperture means you'll need a little more light or slightly higher ISO in certain situations, and I don't think I'll be using this lens indoors since it doesn't have a fast enough aperture. The other thing is that this lens doesn't have stabilization, but honestly, you pair it with a good mirrorless camera with in-body stabilization and you should honestly be good. Those compromises feel pretty minor when you consider everything this lens offers in return. The pros definitely outweighs the cons for me. Having this much versatility and such a compact package is something I think a lot of creatives will appreciate. I think Tamron has done an excellent job with this lens. It's lightweight, versatile, well-built, and delivers image quality that's more than good enough for the vast majority of anyone using this lens. If your goal is to simplify your camera bag without sacrificing too much performance, this lens makes a very strong case for itself. It's probably not the lens I choose if I were shooting professionally in every possible situation, but if I were traveling, hiking, or heading out for the day where I didn't know what I'd be shooting, this would be very high on my list. At the end of the day, content creation is about capturing moments, not constantly worrying about which lens you should have mounted on the camera. The Tamron 28-200mm lets you spend more time shooting and less time changing lenses, and that's something I really value, and I'm sure you will too. But I'd love to hear what you think. Is this the kind of all-in-one lens you'd use, or do you still prefer carrying multiple lenses for different situations? Let me know in the comments section down below, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like these. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.